transform mind in the right direction. Very, very important. I was telling the first group that there was a time when the land was conquered by animals, tigers and lions, bears. Human beings were nowhere to see at that time. The sky was controlled by birds, eagles, hawks. Human beings were nowhere to see. The sea was controlled by whales, crocodiles, snakes, and many others. Human beings were nowhere to see. So the land, the earth, the water, everything was controlled by other sentient beings. Right? But now who is controlling the air? Human beings. Sea is controlled by human beings. Land is controlled by human beings. Therefore, it is important for the human beings to control these three levels with the right frame of mind. Otherwise, we are going to bring death and destruction. And we are already doing it. With the explosion of one nuclear bomb, one ballistic missile, powerful ballistic missile, whether the explosion takes in the space, on the earth, or in the sea, imagine not only human beings, how many sentient beings are killed with just one explosion. And we have already started doing that. Isn't that unfortunate? This short life that we have, even this short life that we have, because of our arrogance and stupidity, we are not letting people live peacefully. So therefore, you need to really learn to live peacefully. I mean, one thing that you can do is, you may not have control over all the continents, all the countries, all the nations, but you can control yourself. So whatever be the situation, you should try to live peacefully and happily. And there is no point feeling sad when you see some disturbing kind of news or hear disturbing things. There's no need for you to get disturbed. Because simply getting disturbed is not the solution. And if there's something you can do it. At whatever level, if you are able to do it. And then don't worry. Do not have unnecessary fear. Right? Many people these days say, I have fear, what should I do? Some of you have fear. Fear of what? Fear of failing an exam. No need to fear. Failing an exam is not failing your life. Ancient times there was no universe, nothing. People, there was no need for them to feel fear. I'll tell you a story. This story is a very nice story. There was a man, oh sorry, not a man. So the mouse was very scared. He was very fearful of cat. So wished, how nice if I become a cat. Right? How nice if I become a cat. Then there was a genie who said, okay, I'll grant your wish. So he transformed the rat into a cat. As soon as he became a cat, he saw a big dog nearby. Again he got fear. And he said, how nice if I become a dog. Okay, your wish is granted. He became a dog. Then after he became a dog, he saw a lion. He was terrified. This how nice if I become a lion, so that I don't have to fear. Then the genie transformed him into a lion. Then as soon as he became a lion, at a distance he saw a hunter with a gun pointing to the lion. Then he said, the life of lion is also not good. How nice if I become a human being, right? So he become human being, right? After he become a human being, then what happens? Huh? He again saw a rat and he was terrified. So, so the fear is not there outside. It is inside you, right? Today's cheese being eaten by tomorrow's mouse. Unnecessary fear, unnecessary worry. As I mentioned earlier, there are some fears that are realistic. Many of our fears unnecessary, unnecessary. No need to have any fear. Having just fear is not the solution. So in life, it's not always happiness, it is not always suffering. Although in these texts they highlight very much about suffering, negative emotion, and so forth, right? Because these are the things we need to remove. But that does not mean you're horrible, you're hopeless, you'll go to the deepest of the hell, never be able to come out. And you did so many nasty things in the past life, you're still doing all these nasty things. There is no hope. You'll all go to hot hell, cold hell. It's not saying that. When we read the text, it really looks almost like saying that this is just giving warning. We have done some bad things in the past life. We are still definitely doing some negative things. So be careful because you don't want suffering. That's what he's saying. He's not saying you're just an embodiment of all the bad things. You're hopeless, right? So you should understand the teaching in the right perspective. And you've also done many great things in the past lives, and you're still doing many great things. For example, what you're doing in these 4 days here is unbelievable. It's really amazing. I say unbelievable because majority of the people in the world are just running around, getting distracted for, you know, some many cases just getting distracted for nothing. There are some who may be doing a little bit this thing, that thing, but not necessarily very meaningful for life. But you are doing this. So always rejoice the good things that you do. Don't just keep on you thinking about your shortcomings and lack of capacities and so forth. It's very, very important. And the very purpose of having such a retreat and studying Shantideva's Bodhicharya is to deal with problems. The first problem that you have to deal with is in your family, where you spend most of your time. So in your family also, it is not necessary that all family members are perfect. They are all enlightened Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Like you, they are also ordinary human beings. They also get angry, they also get tired, they also get upset, just as you do. So you need to simply understand that. Understand that. And then when you get some problems with your parents or with your brothers, sisters, or when you get some physical illnesses, then you should recognize those problems, that there's no need to just keep on thinking just about it. There are many other things. If you change your perspective a little bit, you can make your life happy. I'll tell you another story. There were two very, very elderly people, very, very old and very sick. So they put up in a not so good hospital on the second, third floor, something like that. So one very old man was sleeping, his bed was here, and another old man, his bed is here. So they are not able to move. They are very old, very sick. But this person on this side, he's always saying, "Oh, life is so good. Oh, from the window I can so many beautiful flowers. Oh, those kids they are playing, they are so nice, so cute. When you see these little kids, you feel so happy, right? Jumping, fearless, innocent. So he was telling all those stories. But on this old man here, there was no window, he could not see anything. So one day, this person who was telling all these good stories, he died, he passed away. So as soon as he passed away, he hoped, okay, I should move there. At least I can see those beautiful flowers and small kids playing and jumping. But when he moved there, his place was also similar like his place. There was no window, nothing. So this other gentleman was really trying to cheer up. You see? So the point that I'm making is even in the case when there is no window, nothing to be seen, you can have a cheerful mind by thinking. It's in your mind. But if there's really a window and flowers and many things are there, then no need to just sit down and keep on complaining and seeing all the negativities. Change your attitude, change the place, change the situation. Don't sit there, you know, keep on, sitting there, thinking about all the bad things, negative things. No need, no need, no need. And one day you don't have to live with these people, they will die. You see, right? So that also doesn't mean you tie your head with that person who is like troublesome, things like that. You just distance from that person a little bit, and then a little bit you should also see them, try to be a little bit cheerful. If that is not working, then you distance yourself a little bit from them, but don't keep the relation cut completely. So there are many, many solutions. And in this world, there are so many people. And many people are really very good. So you should make friendship with some other people, some nice people. And be careful, don't make friendship easily. But through proper analysis, research, you will find, good friends, particularly of your age, right? And then also some senior people who can really guide you, share their experience, go with them. Then you will not feel lonely. Then you don't have to get bogged down with your family alone, right? Go there, meet your friend. When they have problem, you go and help them. When they have problem, go and help them. That is how the society functions, right? That's very important. So this kind of teaching and practice should help you to change your attitude and accept the realities, be it suffering, be it happiness, be it joy, be it whatever it is. Just accept it. Just accept it. Have you heard the story about Sukhiram and Dukhiram? Have you heard that story? What? This is such an amazing story. Sukhiram and Dukhiram. Sukhiram. Ram is Indian name. Sukhi means happy Ram. Dukhi means unhappy Ram. Something like that. So this is actually name of two frogs. There were two frogs. One is Sukhiram, always maintain cheerful happiness. Another one's Dukhiram. So now I'm asking you, I'm telling this story so that you can choose whether you want to be Sukhiram or Dukhiram. And my hope is that at the end of this workshop, you will all become Sukhiram, not Dukhiram, right? So there was this frog called Sukhiram, the happy frog, a big bullfrog. So he was as always, just as the frogs do, jumping around, whatever they're doing, at least you can see they are jumping around and looking like this, right? Right? But very close to Sukhiram, there was a school. And in that school, there were many kids. And the kids, especially those who are in 6th, 7th class, they are said to be especially naughty. And every morning there was a milk seller. He used to ride his Rajdut bicycle, carrying cans of milk. And this milk seller was very professional. He would nicely, he had nicely painted all his milk cans inside full of milk. So then there was this uh, naughty boy from sixth standard. She was being very naughty, looking around for an opportunity to harm others or tease others. So as soon as he saw this frog jumping around, he quickly caught it and opened the milk lid and put it through the frog into the milk can, and then closed the lid. Now, very difficult situation, right? Your situation, whatever your situation, cannot be worse than that. So this frog is happy frog, the Sukhiram. So instead of cursing the young boy, he said, "Naughty boy, may the God give you some wisdom, so that you don't keep on bullying others or creating trouble upon others." But then he did not curse the boy. Yeah, okay. He said, "May you get the intelligence." Then he did the SWOT analysis. This is very famous management training. SWOT. Write this down. SWOT. 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 Right. Now I'm forgetting everything. Yeah, SWOT. SWOT. Have you written? So S means strength. W means weakness. O means opportunity. T means, so you know already. I thought she said you did not have this story. Okay. T means threat. 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 So this frog who is now thrown into this milk in the can, he did this SWOT analysis. What is my strength? His strength was that he can swim. Frogs can swim. So he started swimming in that milk. But what is his weakness? His weakness is he cannot swim very long, right? And then the opportunity, O is opportunity. Opportunity means if you don't give up, you will get opportunity. Because the milkman is not going to carry that milk and go around all the time, never opening the lid. He will at some time open the lid, and as soon as he opens the lid, he can jump out and run away. But there is a threat. The threat is unfortunately, in case if there is an accident, milkman dies, he would also die. So such things are also possible. So when he did this SWOT analysis, he found that his strength was that he knows how to swim. So he started swimming. When he started swimming, then what happened? If you chant the milk, what happens? Butter comes out. A big lump of butter, big lump of butter came up, and then he took rest on this lump of butter, right? And then gradually the milkman opened the lid and he jumped out to safety. So meaning that if you maintain cheerfulness of your mind, right? Maintain cheerfulness of your mind and don't give up. Whatever be the difficult situation, it never stays like that. It changes. It changes. Now look at the other one, Dukhiram. Again, a naughty boy caught him and put in the milk and closed the lid. Then what did this Dukhiram, the unhappy frog, what did he say? He said, "You naughty boy, you go to hell. Your parents should go to hell. All your relatives go to hell. All your communities should go to hell." He started cursing, and never checked his ability, did not try to swim, and he died. Right? So never give up. Look around, see the opportunities. There is the benefit of maintaining a right outlook, mental attitude. Is it useful? Shall I tell you one more? Because when you listen to Buddhist teachings or even otherwise, there are many like counselors who speaks about the importance of maintaining right mental attitude. And when we keep on hearing such things, sometimes it is difficult to believe us. We start thinking, why these people are talking about mind, mind, mind. All that matters is just have, work hard and get money. That's it. मुझे मुझे पैसा चाहिए क्या भाग रहा है यहाँ I want money. Why are you kind of wasting my time? There are people who say and who think like this, not knowing that your right mental attitude is source of many happinesses and source of many good things, including money, as I mentioned yesterday. Right? So your mental attitude makes a huge difference. I'll give you an example. Let us say there are two people who are suffering from migraine headache. Migraine headache. Has anybody experienced migraine headache? Anybody? Anybody? Lucky. I experienced migraine headache many times before. So migraine headache comes because of stress. Migraine headache comes because sitting under very hot sun. Migraine headache comes by sitting under in a very cold air conditioned room. Migraine headache comes when you have the light falling on your head. Okay, many things like this, right? So anyway, let us imagine these two people who have severe migraine headache. Severe migraine headache of same intensity, same. In terms of migraine headache, they are same. But in terms of their attitude, different. So with different attitude, how does it help solve this problem? That's what I'm going to tell you. So the one person who is experiencing migraine headache, let us say he is a positive mental attitude. When he gets the migraine headache, of course he suffers, but he still tries to maintain his positive attitude by asking the right questions. Why am I having this migraine headache? Is this there because I did not get proper sleep? It can be because I'm not getting proper sleep. Is it there because I'm hungry? Is it there because I'm tired? Right? Is it necessary that I go to the hospital and take some medicine? So he will ask the right question and try to solve it. And then some of his friends come, being cheerful, making jokes and laughing. He will not get upset. He would also try to join them. Although he will tell his friend, my head is cracking. I have such a severe migraine headache. But he still tries to remain cheerful. And because of that, the friends, they will also say, oh, I'm sorry you have this migraine headache. Shall I help you go to hospital? Shall I cook food for you? Things like that, right? Then, despite of this migraine headache, he tries to remain cheerful, open the doors and the windows, and look friends outside. Friends his leg, outside from the window. He sees, as I mentioned earlier, sees the flowers and green, many things, cheerful. And then, if there's a need to take rest, he take rest, right? Then, if he's a Buddhist, he says it's good. My head is really cracking, but it's good. Probably all my negativities, result of all my negativities in the past is now getting purified. It's good. He accepts it. If he's a Christian, he will say, we are all created by the Creator, so there must be a reason that he has created this migraine headache. So he accepts it cheerfully, takes food, takes rest, goes to hospital, his friends come to help him. So it is now scientifically said that that kind of person recovers much, much quicker. all your physical ailments. So much so, you won't believe, there are cases of people who are completely healed from cancer through meditation practice. Right? There are people like that. Then now there is this other person who is suffering from same migraine headache with same intensity, but unfortunately who has a negative way of thinking. The first thing he would say is, of all people, why the hell I am alone getting this migraine headache? If it is created by the God, then I don't like this God who created this kind of suffering. If you are Buddhist, he will say, we talk so much about Buddha's compassion. Where is his compassion? I'm having this migraine headache. He's not coming here and helping me. And then he gets upset, angry, close the door, close the window, switch off the light. What will he see? Only darkness all around. Then his friends come laughing and joking. He will say, how dare you laugh and make jokes when I'm dying with this headache? Get lost. So none of his friends dare to stay with him. So because of this negative attitude, it takes much longer time to heal that problem. Really true. Because if you get migraine headache, if you take a little bit rest and sleep, it become much better. I have that personal experience. Right? So now you can clearly see how much your mental attitude makes difference. ऐसे हवा में नहीं बंद कर रहा हम लोग. The problem with us, we only believe in corporeal, physical things. We don't believe in other kind of energies. That is the problem. And you should accept the fact that your mind is your boss. Who's your boss? Your mind or your body? Your mind. Women say, my husband is my boss. Men say, my wife is my boss. They're not your boss. They cannot control you. Some are really powerful, some women really control men. There are some men really powerful control women, but still that doesn't mean they can't control them completely. So your real boss is your mind. So your mind being your boss is not the problem. The problem is what kind of mind that is your boss right now. The mind which is your boss right now is unfortunately not very enlightened. Unfortunately, the mind that is controlling you is a little bit short-sighted, little bit narrow-minded, little bit stupid, little bit ignorant, little bit confused. Because of this, you are having problems, you are difficulties. So therefore, purpose of doing such a retreat and studying such Dharma text is to change your mind so that the mind which is controlling is become more compassionate, less stupid, more wise, right? So if you are controlled by a mind which is full of compassion, which is full of wisdom, which is full of larger perspective, you will have much, much, much less problem. So how much suffering you will get is not just by karma that you've done 1,000 years back. It's not what you do. It is also what you do right now. What do you think right now? Right? So therefore, the first thing that you need to do is you should maintain your coolness and as much as possible help your family members. That's where you start. Right? Think globally, act locally. You know that saying? Everybody knows that saying. So applies to the Buddhist practice also. In Buddhism also we talk about all sentient beings. Where are the all sentient beings? They may be far away, most of them far away. You don't have any idea where they are living, what they are doing. It's only thinking. Right? Even in Leh, you don't have direct access to all the people living in Ladakh. Right? So you have access to a few small group. and especially your family members. So there, if you're able to practice the teaching, you're practicing. Right? Right? So problem is not the rest of the humanity. The problem is your next door neighbor. If you are able to deal nicely with your next door neighbor, with your family members, then you can easily deal with others as well. Right? And it's your mental attitude. I'll tell you an example which I have personally witnessed. There's one very elderly Tibetan by the name Thuptenla. I met him for the first time in Miami when I was invited there to give some Buddhist talks. So in that particular area where I was giving talks, he was the only Tibetan. He's very elderly and had suffered much in his life. You know, he first probably went with an American woman at a very early age, and that woman mistreated him terribly. He ran away to some other area of America, struggling, he didn't have much educational background, doing some manual, work. And then he thought I should get married. He goes back to Nepal and marries a Tibetan woman, brings that Tibetan woman to America, and they had one daughter, one child, and unfortunately she was born disabled. And when I met him, the girl was already like, I think, 30 or 40 years old already, disabled, completely crippled, not able to even properly go to toilet. But what really impressed me was Tubdinla, the father. He goes to work despite these family problems. The mother has to sit there all the time. So he goes to work, and in addition to some work that from which he may be earning some money, but he's working so hard for the Tibetan cause. He was teaching Tibetan language to a group of people. He was collecting all the books, Buddhist books, and opening a small library. Unbelievable, unbelievable. And then he comes to the home from the work. The first thing he does is goes to see the daughter. My sweet Dharma gives a kiss, you know. And he sees his daughter, amazingly beautiful. But they had a lot of problem. Then he really feared his wife also will die because she has to just sit there the whole day. Then they moved from America to Dharamsala, spent few years in Dharamsala. Then the wife passed away. Then she took the disabled, daughter to Nepal, where she found really nice NGO. So I didn't hear from him some years, but whenever he comes to Dharamsala, he makes it a point to see me, bringing some small books or small books. He has also written some books. Books means like not published, but in accordance with His Holiness teaching, he writes them down and hoping to publish it, things like that. Very beautiful. So he must be now at least, I don't remember exactly, 88, 89, something like that. I hope he's still happy. But he always like so cheerful, always. There's no trace of suffering problem. This is your mental attitude, you see. This is your mental attitude. This is a real encounter that I had. Then another encounter. I was invited to give series of talks in Israel. So I was in New Delhi, and went to the checking counter for my flight from Delhi to Israel. So when I went there was a quite a young Tibetan girl with an spectacle waiting there. As soon as she saw me, she came running to me. Geshe, are you also going to Israel? I said, yes, I'm going. Oh, we make sure that we get the same boarding, the boarding ticket together. Yes, we did. Then we were sitting together. As soon she is in the plane, she opened a small, bag and then opened a text and started reading. Very devoted. Then I asked her, "What do you do?" She said, "I go there to earn some money by helping the." In Israel, there are many people, who are quite relatively rich but living alone. So they have like people from, the Tibetan community, Nepal, and uh, many other, places serving them. So I asked her, "Isn't it very difficult to serve an old person?" Right? That's my point. Isn't it very difficult to serve an old person? Number one, he's old, not able to look after himself, but still he is the boss. He gives you the salary. So isn't that difficult? She said, "Yeah, in the beginning it's difficult, but gradually I become the boss. He has to listen to me." See, I mean, you can learn so many things by talking to people, really. Because he has to depend on her. He is not able to do anything. So he has to listen to her. So that I become the boss. So this is the attitude, really. This is the attitude. This is the attitude. So in all situations, the most important thing is take good care of your health, remain cheerful, and don't just keep on thinking about the problems, difficulties. There are many good things also, right? So that is more or less that is what you will hear from Shantideva also. I'm trying to simplify it so that next time you will not say, "I went to listen to Geshe Lhakdor's teaching and he read the Bodhicitta and it did not make any sense to me." So, so some ordinary explanations are important, right? But this text is very precious. So we are now reading chapter 3, right? Right? Chapter 3, page 29. Full acceptance of the bodhicitta. Awakening mind means bodhicitta. So in order to develop this bodhicitta, you need to rejoice. You've already confessed your negative deeds, right? For example, if you are going to invite His Holiness the Dalai Lama here, what will you do? You will all make sure that the place is clean, with flowers, whatever. You will welcome him very nicely. You will prepare. So now we are inviting somebody. Who are we inviting? Who are we inviting? Very precious person. Who are we inviting? We are inviting bodhicitta. Because there cannot be anybody more precious than bodhicitta. So therefore, in order to invite bodhicitta and make your mind a fitful place, suitable place, you need to confess, which we have already done. Confess the negative things that we have done. Rejoice at the good things that is done by others. Rejoicing is one of the 7 limb practice, and rejoicing is really important. Whenever you see somebody doing good, don't get jealous. Rejoice. And you can rejoice just by sleeping. You do the work, I'm sleeping here. Oh, she's doing that. So beautiful, wonderful, good. You earn the same benefit. If you know how to do Dharma practice, you can do it sleeping. Right? So that's what he's saying. Gladly I rejoice in the virtue that relieves the misery of all those in unfortunate states and that places those with suffering in happiness. I rejoice in that gathering of virtue that is the cause of the Arhat's awakening. I rejoice in the definite freedom of embodied creatures from the miseries of cyclic existence. I rejoice in the awakening of the bodhicitta and also in the spiritual levels of their sons. And with gladness, I rejoice in the ocean of virtue from developing awakening mind that wishes all beings to be happy, as well as the deeds that bring them benefit. So therefore, I am now going to make a request, he is saying. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the lamp of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. So this means you should request the good teachers to give Dharma teaching. Unless you request, especially the good teachers, unless you request, they will not come. Then there are some teachers who are businessmen. They'll come without your invitation. They will put big boards. Then they will say, in their announcement, they will say, 1 week, complete enlightenment. Right? But the good teachers, unless you invite them, they will not come. So therefore, it's important to request them to give teachings. Right? With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the lamp of Dharma, to give the Dharma teaching, for all bewildered in misery's gloom. And it's also important for them to stay long and not to die. With folded hands, I beseech the conquerors who wish to pass away, to please, to please remain for countless eons and not to leave the world in darkness. So this is why we make so many long life offerings to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So making long life offerings to His Holiness Dalai Lama is not a drama that we are performing. It really works. Because when you are saying, His Holiness, you are so important, you are so precious, you benefit all of us, please stay as long as possible, that makes His Holiness think, yes, my life is meaningful. So that's why he is happily saying, I might live 130 years. You see? But at least what we are seeing right now is he's 91 years old now, still very cheerful. Every day, seeing at least 400, 500 people, encouraging them. Right. So I always explain this. Once I was visiting Switzerland, and somebody, out of curiosity, asked me how this long life offering works. People requesting the Lama to live long. The Lama says, yes, I will live long. Isn't this a little bit of drama? And especially then Chinese might take this opportunity and say, see, these lamas, they are acting as if they have choice to live long. And all they do is take all those lines of offerings. But in the case of His Holiness, all these offerings, many of them are just hired from his office. Right? And so anyway, so then I explained to them by saying, this is how it works. Let us take the example of a family. Maybe two families, like the two frogs, maybe two families. One family, very harmonious, right? Very harmonious. So the husband does some official work. The wife may be a housewife, whatever. So the husband goes to work, 9 to 5 work, government work. As soon as he finishes the work, he'll come straight to the home, thinking, my sweet wife is waiting for me. My sweet children are waiting for me. And then he is very warmly welcomed, The wife helps him to take a nice cup of tea, whatever, It's such a heaven. And it's because of this harmony, people really live longer. Now take the example of the another family where the husband, wife, and the members of the family are not in great harmony, right? Then the husband again goes to work, 9 to 5 official job. As soon as he finishes the work, what does he do? He will just go to the market, gossip with friend. He really doesn't want to come back and see the wife and children because they're not in great harmony. So he'll spend time and then he comes back very late, maybe 7, 8 p.m. Then wife is already there, ready to scold. Why did you come late? क्या आपका काम 5 बजे में खत्म नहीं होता है? I think everybody is finishing their work at 5 and everybody is coming home and you're coming at. Said, I'm sorry, I made a friend. Now he'll start telling all the lies, I had to do more work, all lying. So they need to live like this, arguing, scolding each other, fighting each other. So these people, because of that situation, naturally shortens their life because there is stress, there is unhappiness. So that's why I'm saying that if you make like long life offering, it works in the case of good teacher. But in the case of bad teacher, whatever you do doesn't make much difference. They'll be just performing some drama. Right? Thus, by the virtue I collected through all that I have done, may the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. So, whenever you do something good, you should immediately dedicate it for the benefit of all sentient beings. If you dedicate it, it will never be lost. If you don't dedicate it, then next time you get angry, develop some negative emotions, it must be destroyed. Now, these are your prayers. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. So, therefore, I always appreciate people who work in hospitals like doctors and nurses. They have such, not only they earn their livelihood, but they have such an amazing opportunity. May a rain of food and drink descend to clear away the pain of thirst and hunger. And during the aeon of famine, may I myself change into food. So these are, in a way, wishful thinking, good thinking. But just praying, then the food will start raining. It will not happen. But this is a good, good expectation. But in your real life, don't just pray. Wherever you can, actually help people. Actually help people. There are some people, if you just give them one bread, they will be very happy. One who has nothing to eat, nothing to wear, if you just give a small thing, it makes their day. So don't just say, may I do it. May I become an inexhaustible treasure for those who are poor and destitute. May I turn into all things they could need, and may this be placed close behind them. I mean, if you really have the wish to help people, you can help them in so many ways. Just like the mother helping the innocent child. The innocent little child thinks my mother can do magic. She can solve all my problems. I mean, how the law of nature works is like quite amazing. The little child only has to catch the one of the fingers of the mother. Then the mother is tied to this child forever. The bond. The mother may be not so educated, the mother may be illiterate because she has this amazing wish to help the child. She has this amazing love. So she is able to look after that child. If you are educated, good. Even if you're not educated, if you act really like a good mother, she is really able to help the child. So similarly, in our case also, if you have this wish to help others, if you have this love and compassion to others, you will always find a way to help others. Right? And some people really don't need much help, just a little bit. They're looking for a little bit for which they don't know. Then you tell them, like for example, in my office in Dharmasala, many number of young people, although they don't dare to come like that, but sometimes they come and ask for some information which is very important for them, but which is readily accessible with me. Then I give them information. It's not a big deal, and they get very happy. So there are many opportunities, many opportunities. So these days I try really do, when even if people don't ask me, you can find out that if you think that this person is really looks like looking for something, then you can go and may I help you? That's not a big deal. They are asking maybe a telephone number or an address or something, a place to study or place to sleep, whatever. You can guide them. You can guide them. So this is how you help others. You have opportunity, plenty of opportunity to help others. So don't say I don't have the capacity to help others. Without any sense of loss, I shall give up my body and enjoyments as well as all my virtues of the three times for the sake of benefiting all. Because by giving up all, sorrow is transcended. And so that's why some of the teachers they say, I'm not going to tell you about the benefit of giving, but I'm going to tell you about the disadvantage of holding. Normally we say giving is good, giving is good. Yeah, that's true. But holding is too much holding, too much collecting things, not good. In our life also, work very hard, right? We work very hard to get things. Then, because our mind is like ignorant and stupid, we keep on buying whatever is there in the market. Provided if you have some money, we keep on buying things. Then gradually find you have collected so many things in your house. There's not enough cupboard or enough place to put all your things. One person buys 6 pairs of shoes, right? 6 pairs of slippers just for the feet. How many feet you have? Two. How many shoes you need? Huh? You need many shoes. One for climbing the mountain. Another sports shoes. Another when you go to the bathroom, So the business people have advertised these things in such a convincing way, you know. We tend to think, yes, I need. There is an element of truth. What they say, there may be an element of truth, but it's not always true. So you try to live a little bit like more contented life. Just buy what you really need. What you really need. There is difference between need and greed. There is enough for everybody's need, but not enough for everybody's greed. And it is the greed that is destroying the planet today. Think about this carefully. It's the greed that is destroying the planet. It is because of the greed, everybody wants to have everything. And there are a group of clever people who are trying to come up with so many things to fool people. In terms of even cooking, imagine how many different types of dishes are there. Mixing this there, mixing that there, then they give different names. Whether it's good for you or not so sure. Right? So, in the name of progress, we are destroying the whole planet. And you need to be fully aware about this one fact, this one reality. I think I briefly mentioned yesterday also. Anything that is material and physical, by definition, has a limitation. So, how can you make unlimited progress from limited resources? When we talk about progress and development, material progress and material development, the material progress and material development has to come from external material physical resources like water, mineral resources, forest, and things like that. Forest is limited. Mineral resources are limited. Water limited. So how can you make unlimited progress from limited material resources? You will only end up destroying the limited natural environment. That's happening already. Whereas in the case of your mental development, you can develop your mind to a limitless quality because it's not physical, it's not mental. But in this area, we are all satisfied. We hardly make any development, hardly make any progress. Right? Every day you might say, "Oh, this morning I did 5 minutes meditation," as you've achieved a great deal. Right? Right? And that's why I am telling you that much of the problem that we are facing today is a clear indication of starvation of human mind. For the body, we give so many things: breakfast, lunch, dinner, break, tea break, so many things. But for the mind, we hardly give anything. And with the impoverished mind, confused mind, we can't have happiness, right? So therefore, it is important to pay more attention to enriching the mind. The example that I can give is in the case of material development, there is a limitation. For example, you can take the example of the person who is said to be the world's number one gold medalist in long jump, world's number one in long jump. Now, in addition to this expertise, if he still undergoes some training, can he make some progress? A little bit, maybe. But it will never come to this person that one day he starts jumping from one mountain to another mountain. He is the world's number one gold medalist in long jump. Now he's jumping from this mountain to another mountain. Have you seen anybody like that? It's not possible because the basis on which he's giving the training is his physical body. Similarly, when you boil the water, when you boil the water, it'll become hotter and hotter, hotter and hotter. Gradually, it reaches 100-degree boiling point. Still, you heat the water. Will the water become hotter? The water will simply disappear into vapor. It cannot become this because this is physical. But in the case of the training of the mind, you can train it to limitless state, at least until you become Buddha. World's number one scientist is like Einstein. He never said that I have learned so much now my brain is full, no more space. And instead he said, Einstein, he said, I am not able to, I tried my best, but I am unable to use my brain more than 7%, 8%. And he said that just by using 7 or 8% of my mind, I'm able to do things which many people are unable to do. Therefore, they are seeing me like a god, right? So Einstein's like mathematical formulas. What is it? EM? Huh? Yeah, like that. You see, general theory of relativity, special theory of relativity. So many magical things he has done. So he's saying that if you really use your brain, as I started by saying, do you like magic? Miracle. So if you really train your mind, you can create all kind of magical, miraculous things. And after all, what is miracle? If you're able to do something which others are unable to do, it is miracle, right? So therefore, there is nobody who will catch hold of your hand and throw you into heaven. Have you seen anybody like that? There is nobody. You can sing this song actually. There is nobody who will catch hold of your hand and throw you to heaven. Similarly, there is nobody who will catch hold of your leg and drag you into hell. Your happiness and your suffering is in your hand. Do not cheat yourself. Do you cheat yourself? You may not be cheating yourself intentionally, thinking that I will today definitely cheat myself. But cheating means when you don't do the things that must be done, that is cheating, right? So therefore, you should realize that you can bring miracles, perform miracles if you change and transform your mind. Change and transform your mind, just as the Buddha was able to do, right? So you're saying I'm going to give my body, my wealth, and all the virtues that I've collected over the 3 times. Why you need to do this? You need to do this because it's by giving up all you will be able to put an end to sorrow. And by giving all, my mind will realize the sorrowless state. But giving up all doesn't mean that gradually. Giving up all means giving up, reducing your attachment, craving, and reducing all these negative emotions gradually. It's not saying throwing away everything at one go. There was a gentleman at the time of Milarepa. He was very impressed with Milarepa's way of life, and he said, "I must be like Milarepa. I must be like Milarepa." So he threw all his belongings. So after he was very, I mean, initially he was under particular impulse, wanted to do something. I'll become like Milarepa and started threw away everything. But his mental state was not like Milarepa. So after 2, 3 days, he started suffering. There was no pot to cook, there was no clothes to wear, so many problems. Then he said, this fellow Milarepa, not only he is a beggar, but he made me a beggar. So without properly preparing, text is not seeing through everything until your mind is ready. I have one friend, a good teacher. So just like me or anybody, when you read this text, you get very inspired. And then you go see this. Oh, this I don't need. Oh, this cloth I don't need. I might have done that also. My friend, he told me that he did this. Then the next morning, so he had collected a number of things. Now he put it in the veranda, hoping to give it to others. Then next morning he says, "Oh, this I might need." Brings back this I might need. So finally brings back everything. So it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy, right? Having given this body up for the pleasure of all living beings by killing, abusing, and beating it, may they always do as they please. So he's saying that, and then okay, read the next one. Although they may play with my body and make it a source of jest and blame because I've given it up to them, what is the use of holding it dear? So it's not saying that stupidly you let others believe you, take advantage of your body. It's not saying that. So this next verse is saying, you should let them do all this. Therefore, I shall let them do anything that I mentioned earlier, if this does not cause them any harm. And when anyone encounter me, may it never be meaningless for him. See, this is so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful. When people come to see you, they don't come to see you because you're so handsome, you're so beautiful, right? They come to you with some purpose, small purpose, whatever it is. There's nobody who will come to see you without any purpose. So right from the beginning, when somebody comes to see you, then you should welcome that person. In case if you no time, say it politely, they have no time. Otherwise, you should welcome them thinking, oh, here is an opportunity to help this person. You see, here's an amazing opportunity to help that person, right? You don't get such an opportunity easily because not everybody will come to you asking things. Very special opportunity. And that means you have the capacity to help somebody, right? So that will you also gain some confidence that I'm not useless. So if in those who encounter me a faithful or angry thought and a faithful or angry thought arises, may that naturally become the source for fulfilling of their wishes. Now this is said to be wrong not only in the translation but also in the original Tibetan. Many Tibetan texts have this word. If in those who encounter me and then develop lack of faith or angry thought, it's not faithful. Trom mate semjungna mares. Trom tebe semjungna mares. Trom mate semjungna. If somebody comes to me and they develop lack of faith and anger, because if they develop faith, then why you have to worry about that? It's not faith. It is distrust or lack of faith. Or an angry thought arises, may that eternally becomes the source for fulfilling their wishes. May all those who say bad things about me or cause me any other harm, and those who mock and insult me, have the fortune to fully awaken. May I be protected for those without one. So beautiful, right? There are many people who, you may think that I'm nobody, but there are many people who need your help. You can protect them. So may I be the protector for those without a protection, a guide for all travelers on the way. May I be a bridge, a boat, and a ship for all those who wish to cross the water. May I be an island for those who seek one, and a lamp for those desiring light. May I be a bed for all those who wish to rest, and a slave for all who want to sleep. You know the two foremost disciples of Buddha, Shariputra and Mongoliana. So Shariputra is said to be a monk whose mind is exceptionally sharp, very sharp mind. Shirap Chenji Chogyo Sharipu. He's the best of all the intelligent people, very sharp. And it is said that his mind is so sharp because in the past life he distributed needles and threads to others. I mean, in those days, technologically we are not very advanced, but he used to distribute needles and threads. Needles and threads for what? To stitch the breaking clothes, right? So to mend what is falling apart, to mend what is falling apart through different ways is an amazing way of helping others. So therefore, when you give gift to others, don't just give on chocolates and all those things. Give nice books to read. Give a nice pen. Give a torch. In my case, I keep on distributing torch, right? Because that will help. Number one, it symbolizes wisdom, giving light. And in reality, also, this might help somebody falling into a ditch, things like that. So small things, pen, torch, nice small book. Give those. Don't give knife. I mean, generally speaking, knife. Of course, don't give poison. Yeah, right. So give something that will enlighten them, that will make them happy. Okay. चॉकलेट क्या करेगा मेरे पास इतना चॉकलेट आता है चॉकलेट देंगे चॉकलेट all right. May I be an island for those seek one and a lamp for those desiring light. And the best lamp is the lamp of Dharma teaching. May I be a bed for all wish to rest and a for slave instead of slave probably you should use servant may be better. And a slave for all who want a slave. May I be a wishing jewel, a magic vase, magic vase, powerful mantras and great medicine. May I become a wish fulfilling tree and a cow of plenty for the world. So now in this modern world, you can change all this by saying what? May I become artificial intelligence? I don't know. I don't know. Something like that. May I become a computer which stores all the knowledges. May I become a pen drive which can serve so many GBs, yeah, something like that. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach unto the ends of space. So I think here we'll do a little bit exercise, small exercise of please stand up. Okay, now sit in a kneeling position, kneel down, and take your book and read this together with me 3 times. Just as the previous Sugatas gave birth to an awakening mind, and just as they successfully dwelt in the Bodhisattva practice, likewise, for the sake of all that lives, do I give birth to an awakening mind. And likewise, shall I too successfully follow the practices. Just as the previous Sugatas give birth to an awakening mind, just as they successfully dwelt in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the sake of all that lives, do I give birth to an awakening mind, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the practices. Just as the previous Sugatas gave birth to an awakening mind, and just as they successfully dwelt in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the sake of all that lives, do I give birth to an awakening mind, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the practices. Thank you. Sit down, please. I am using this opportunity so that we'll leave a positive imprint for cultivating bodhicitta. So this is a small kind of almost like a small ceremony of cultivating bodhicitta. And by this kind of exercise, you may not be developing bodhicitta, but you're moving towards it. You are developing wish to have it, to cherish it, right? So therefore, the next one says, now you should be happy that I got this wonderful opportunity to cultivate bodhicitta. Now it's time to sing and dance, whatever. So the next verse says, in order to further increase it from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized an awakening mind in this way should highly praise in the following manner. And in the following manner means he is now saying, today my life has become meaningful. Having well obtained this human existence, now I am born in the family of the Buddha because you become a Buddhist, kind of becoming Bodhisattva. Now I am one of the Buddha's sons. But that's not easy. If you become a Buddha's family or son, then you should do whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with that family, suitable in the name of that family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. I mean, what I am so fortunate to be able to cultivate such a bodhicitta, just like a blind man incidentally discovering a jewel in the heap of rubbish. Likewise, by some coincidence, or maybe due to my some positive karma, an awakening mind has been born with me. And this bodhicitta is so important because it is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. If you're somebody who practices bodhicitta, you don't have to fear anything. You develop so many fear because you're always thinking about the opposite of bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is a mind wishing to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. And in our ordinary life, we develop what is opposite to that self-centered attitude. What will happen to I, me, and mine? All the time we talk about I, me, and what will happen to me? What will happen to the I? What will happen to the mine? Those that belongs to you. And it is scientifically now proved that people who make lot of self-references, I, me, and mine, they are prone to all kind of illnesses, including heart attack. Why? Because when you say I, me, and mine, your focus becomes very narrow. I, me, and mine. And within this small tunnel vision and focus, even if you get small problem, you tend to see it as if it is unsurmountable. I am the most miserable fellow. There cannot be another person more miserable than me, which is of course completely untrue. So many people who are living a more unfortunate life than you, right? There are hundreds of millions of people living in a war zone area, day and night, month after month. They keep on hearing gunshots, people running away, crying. Then there are people, places where there is tsunami, earthquake, famine, so many problems are there. So comparing to that, I'm really lucky. It's not enough to say I'm lucky, but you use this lucky, fortunate opportunity to do something good for the well-being of others, right? So instead of this tunnel vision, narrow, and if you develop a little bit larger perspective, see the reality. Yes, I have a problem, but comparing to this many problem, many people, I'm lucky, right? For example, I may have some problem, but I have access to the hospital. I have a problem, but my friends are there to support me. I have a problem, but there's no war and famine going here. You're lucky. So count your blessings. Don't count your miseries all the time. That is what he's saying. Right? So that's why we say the bodhicitta is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the serenity of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is the supreme medicine that medicine is not those pills that you pop up all the time. The real medicine is one that cures the world's disease. World's disease, you know. Is there one medicine that solves all the problems in the world? But if you develop this altruistic motivation to help other sentient beings, this cures all kind of diseases, right? It's the supreme medicine that cures all the world's disease. It is the tree that shelters all beings, wandering and tired of the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning dawn of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world. The quint, quintessential butter from the churning of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be my guest at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, anti-gods, and all be joyful. I invite all of them to give this great feast of helping others. From the Bodhisattva's way of life, this chapter 3, full acceptance of awakening mind. Okay, ask some questions. Much time, some questions.
Julie Geshe.
Mm,
Actually, yesterday mentioned that meaning of Chaksalo.
mm.
Is it right to say Chaksalo to an common person, even they are not Lama or Guru, but they have great knowledge?
It's okay. Because in Ladakh, for example, everybody says Shaksalo. In Hindi, when we say Namaskar, that word Namaskar means I bow down to you because you have this presence of God in you. So similarly, all sentient beings, they are source of your happiness. In relation to them, you cultivate love. In relation to them, you develop compassion. So therefore, you respect them. It's a very good thing to respect everybody, to bow down, right?
Tashikila Geshala.
Mm.
So we all have hurtful past experiences in our life,
Mm?
and hurtful past experiences
Mm?
uh, that keeps reoccurring, even if we know it's in the past and we should forget it, but it keeps reoccurring, and the same intensity of emotion comes back again and again. So how do we deal with that?
You should say, go hell with you. I'm joking. But something like that. You need to be tough. Why you need to relive that kind of unpleasant experience again and again? It's just like a dream. For example, if you get a dream of winning $1 million, then you wake up. How many dollars left? Not a single one. So because in the dream you got $1 million, then rest of your life think, oh, I got one. Keep on thinking, useless. Like similarly, if you get a dream of your near and dear ones passing away, but when you wake up, they are not dead. Thank God. So these are like dream. No use to think again and again because they are coming to you because of a lot of attachment or a lot of obsession, things like that. So they are like a dream. And forget about what has happened in the past. Even those people with whom you live, don't develop too much attachment, too much obsession. Instead, love them, pure love, not the business love. In our ordinary case, especially boys and girls, and when you say, I love you so much, you're actually saying, I love you so much, so long as you love me. Right? That is called business love. So what is taught in Buddhism is not business love. In Buddhism, we say, I love you, whether you love me or not. Why? Because I know you want happiness, you don't want suffering. You are also like me, another human being. So therefore, I love you. After all, why you love yourself? Do you love yourself? Why? For example, in my case, I can't say I love myself because I'm Geshe. So similarly, you can't say I love myself because I'm a professor. I'm very clever. You can put all kind of plausible questions, answers to this, but the real reason why you love yourself, if I ask you the question why you love yourself, and at the end, your answer will be, I love myself because I want happiness, do not want suffering. And this is same with other people. They also want happiness, do not want suffering. But against your stupid mind, reluctant to practice, they say, yeah, this sounds good, but who am I to take care of them? I'll take care of myself. They'll take care of themselves. The matter is, why should I love? When you come with such conclusion, then you are clearly saying that I'm not connected to them, right? If you say there's no need for me to love them because they are separate, if that's your reason, then if your leg gets hurt, your hand should not go to help because leg and hand are separate. When your legs are hurt, your hand go down to massage the leg or put medicine on the leg. Why? Because it's the leg that carries you. Because leg and hand are connected, related. So similarly, other sentient beings are like parts of your body. They are related to you indirectly, directly, especially in today's world. We are all so closely related to each other. So you cannot afford to say, I care about myself alone and not about others. Right? Okay. Uh,
Uh, this question keeps coming to the mind,
mm,
as in this world we live in, wars are created so that the
mm,
weapons in this world that we live in,
mm.
wars are created to sell weapons.
Walls are created.
Wars are created to sell weapons,
Wars are created. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and your own government partakes in it, systematic, unjust done on its own.
Yes.
And in Ladakh as well, you see so much change in the name of development. The air that we are breathing each day, it's so hot, so polluted, and there's already scarcity of water, and yeah, it's dwindling, and the lands are being sold to big projects uh, currently. So, and they would sell the sky also, I think, if it brings money.
Hmm.
So, it's really hard. How do you deal as a youth in this uh, place? And also, you get so angry at your own government. And even if you make a just demand, they come with weapons, they come with guns. And so, how do you deal with anger? How do you find peace in yourself when there's so much happening around you?
There is a very powerful quotation by Nagarjuna where he says, if you want to over the enemy, whoever there, whoever there, if you want to overpower the enemy, upraise yourself with education and knowledge. Dawo silne dewayi danyi yundi yi tuji. Nusem ngembe chishicha. Harmful intention like getting angry is of no use because that will harm you and not the other person. So you should always adopt skillful means. There is a Tibetan saying where we say, "Chati madrowa gumalang tuba." That means you should take the egg in such a way so that it did not disturb the peace of the hen. Right? It's not easy, but you should adopt that kind of solution. Sometimes you can change the government others by gentle way, not the rough way. Sometimes maybe more actions are needed. This morning actually I expected such a question. So therefore I wrote down this one. A nation that continues year after year to spend more money on military defense than on programs of social uplift is approaching spiritual death. So most of the nations in the world are today experiencing spiritual death, which is very dangerous. And that's why even thinkers like Einstein he said the third and fourth world war will be fought with sticks and stones. Meaning that you already destroyed so much, nothing again you will back to almost like the old civilization where you don't have all these arms but have only sticks and stones. Right. So therefore I really think I mean it's not easy, as you said, it's not easy, but I really think there should be a global movement of saying no to war. It might help, I don't know. But right now the situation is so difficult. Like for example, take case of Japan, because what they had experienced during Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the hydrogen bomb that's thrown on them. I visited all those places. I mean, it's unimaginable the destruction that has been done. School kids into the school, they just melted on the road. And what is left behind is just a small oil-like shadow. Strong iron pillars just melted. I visited all the museum and the actual places. And because of this, the Japanese people made a commitment that we will never resort to nuclear bombs. Now, because of the unfortunate things happening in all the neighboring countries where they're stockpiling arms, not only stockpiling arms, they're threatening all the other neighbors. So they once again now they have to come back. And long, long ago also when Americas and others are developing nuclear bombs, and telling all other countries you can't develop nuclear bomb. India was banned to develop any kind of nuclear bomb. So India got very desperate. So quietly they developed their nuclear bomb. But the first nuclear bomb that they developed was named Buddha bomb. To say that this is not for destroying and killing people, but for peace purposes, is a deterrent. You see. So now the situation is such that if you don't have one, they will believe you. So that's why His Holiness always said the problem with violence is it is unpredictable. Violence breeds violence. Violence breeds violence. But still, I think one thing that you can do is people who government or leaders who engage in all these destructive things, people can talk to them through election. Better changes might come. So we have to be hopeful. Yes. Okay.
I have a question regarding the artificial intelligence. Nowadays, it's everywhere, as we have seen. But according to some stats and research, it is said that by using AI, we are the water footprint behind that is very immense. The servers which are used for AI, they are the water footprint is too much in gallons, millions of gallons of water are used to cool down those servers. So, but we have to the change of AI is inevitable as we are seeing. So, how can we make a balance, like a middle way in this? But if we don't use the AI, we are not adapting to the change. If we are using AI, we are destroying the resources or unnecessary water footprints are there, and just like that.
Yeah. So while you should not resist change, but you don't have to adapt to all changes. There are good changes, bad changes. Right? I'm not a scholar on artificial intelligence, but I've started reading some books, ethics and artificial intelligence, human responsibility and artificial intelligence, things like that. So with just a brief kind of understanding of this artificial intelligence, or in other words, you just go back to the industrial revolution. You know, there were benefits also, but a lot of disadvantages also. Then gradually the computer age, now the Facebook and ChatGPT, so many things are coming up. But one thing that I can probably summarize is these are created by technologically intelligent people. On the one hand, to make a lot of money from the rest of the stupid people who are only fond of like going through them, never changing themselves, right? So therefore, while I cannot deny some benefits, right? But at the same time, the more and more you go to these technological products, the more and more you will lose your essence. The more and more you will lose your identity as a human being, right? Now they're already, I mean, we have this experience, for example, with the cloning. We have this experience with the genetic engineering, right? So while we can envision some benefits from genetic engineering, but it's very closely related to ethics through the means of genetic expertise. Can you let the scientists find out what is your gene's propensity? They say all diseases are in your gene. So if you let me read your gene, then I'll tell you you will die when you're only 22 years old, or you will die when you're 50 years old. Then they will give you some prescription things like, will you allow these people to go into such personal lives? And where is the guarantee that the cure they are proposing will really cure the problem. Because in the history of medicine, you will know medicine is a big business. These days, people are like selling all kind of medicines. In the more Western so-called educated country, they pop up handful of medicines every day. This is for the eye, this is for the lung, this is vitamin B, this is C, this is D, everything is needed. We are so gullible, right? So therefore, it's important that keep an eye on what is happening, read more, right? So unfortunately, much of these technological products are trying to create a new human being. For example, through cloning, they will clone me. They will clone me, and then you will have not just one Geshe Lhakdor. You will have several thousands of Geshe Lhakdor. There is a book which I read called "Cloning the Buddha." Unfortunately, Buddha is not here, so they can't clone him. But such ideas are coming in their mind. But then at the end of the day, if you clone me and produce another 1,000 Geshe Lhakdor, they found that those 1,000 Geshe Lhakdor, their quality is not exactly same with the Geshe Lhakdor, right? Then, like in the case of therapeutic cloning, there are two types, right? Reproductive cloning and the therapeutic cloning. In the case of the therapeutic cloning, you create another human being and take parts from that to heal the sickness. I mean, this is really horrible. Horrible. Too many things are coming to the mind of people, right? And then also the help that you get in translation, so forth through artificial intelligence, But if you yourself don't have that education, that knowledge, depend completely on the translation of artificial intelligence, you will find that there is no emotion, there's no sense of ethics. Just rough, dry translation. So still, it is difficult to replace human being completely. So I would suggest rely more on genuine intelligence than on artificial intelligence. Right? That's why. Okay.